Two things my friends make fun of me about. One of them is mowing, and the other one is what we're going to be doing in today's video, and that's wood chipping. We started an orchard this year, so we got a bunch of blueberries and what else did we plant? Pear trees, and a couple days ago I planted 2 peach trees, and we mulch around them with wood chips, and I'm kind of running out of wood chips from all my stashes. I've got this wood chipper on these furniture moving dollies. What I like about doing it this way is that I can make better use of my space inside the mega shed. But I got 2 of them underneath here, and this is a pretty heavy implement. It's the WoodMaxx MX8600 wood chipper. I don't know what it weighs, but it's not light. But I can roll it around fairly easily, and then I can also turn off the tractor while I hook it up, save a little bit of fuel, and save a lot of frustration with the hookup here. So we're going to do some wood chipping, but we're also going to talk a little bit during this video because we put out a video about our retirement decision, and in the thumbnail of the video we had a picture of Trump and we had a picture of Elon Musk, and there was nothing political about the video, yet people made it political, and that's not what we're all about here. And I want to specifically talk about one comment that one viewer made. So we'll start with the positive on that video. The positive was that we got a buyout offer from the federal government to leave our jobs, and we took it and we retired. So we're full-time out here on Piney Grove now, working the property and making videos for you guys. But the video, like I said, with the thumbnail, had a picture of 2, I would say, somewhat polarizing people, President Trump and Elon Musk. And some people, you know, half the country doesn't believe in them or their policies and what they're doing, and that's fine. Can't all agree on everything. One viewer, the username was Leslie, so I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but she said, I'll call her she because I don't know if it's a man or a woman. I think it's a woman. She said, long-time subscriber, but now that we found out you support Trump or you're a MAGA supporter or something like that, we're going to unsubscribe and basically we hate you. You know, something like that. I don't know. I pinned the comment, so it's the top comment under that video. I'll link the video down below. So my response to that was, there's nothing political about this video. If you got triggered because you saw a picture of a president that you didn't vote for, you know, that's your problem, not mine. I was in the military for 21 years. I worked as a government civilian for 15 years and saw many presidents. And I agreed with some, I disagreed with some, but there was things of every president that I did agree with. And I didn't let that affect my work. I didn't let it affect my life. I didn't let it affect my friendships. But today, especially with social media, it's a different animal out there. And we didn't come out, you know, saying what side we support. We just said we support the current administration, because that's what you have to do as Americans. Once the election is over and a decision's been made, whether you voted for that person or not, that's your president. It's like an NFL team, and you know, there's a quarterback controversy in the training camps, but when game day starts, whoever the quarterback is, that's your quarterback. May not be your choice, may have been someone else's choice, may not even be the best choice, but that's your quarterback. So that's the way I look at politics, is that I get one vote. There's 350 million people in the United States. I don't know how many of them are of voting age. Everyone gets a vote, and at the end of the day, you go with whoever wins, and you try to agree where you can agree and really don't get hung up on it. I live on 20 acres in North Florida, and I'm worried about this 20 acres. I'm worried about hooking up this wood chipper. I'm not going to get angry about something I can't affect change on. I made my one vote. Every 2 years or whatever, I vote, and I win some, I lose some. I just go on about my life. I'm not angry about it, and I don't try to convince people to believe what I believe. So I guess my message here is Don't get caught up in that stuff. As long as someone's not preaching to me about something that I just am in total disagreement with, if they're just, out enjoying their life, sharing their life story, and not trying to, change my beliefs or do anything that would be very contrary to my beliefs, then I just enjoy it as entertainment. I'm going to watch the video, and if the video is political and the video offends me, I'm just not going to watch it anymore. I'm not going to watch that type of video from that content creator. I'll just wait till they put out something that that I enjoy more. And it just floors me that someone got so triggered. That was a long-time subscriber. So they say. Never heard of this person before. They've never commented. We've got, I think, 700. I think we got 500 long-form videos and 700 or 800 total videos. And never, ever seen this person comment before. But she had to make a point that she was leaving. I'm an American. I bleed red, white, and blue. I believe in the laws of the country. I believe in that this is the greatest country in the world. I believe in God as well. And we also get comments that are like, we don't subscribe because you have a psalm in the beginning of your video. We're not ashamed of that. And we're not embarrassed that we believe in God. And without God, we wouldn't have all the blessings that we have. And I'm just if you're not going to subscribe because we throw up a few words in the beginning, we never preach in our videos. I'm not preaching now. I'm going to show you some tractor work. But if that offends you, then I guess we're just going to have less subscribers because we're not going to back away from our faith and the love of our country. Normally I'd hook to the Summit dump trailer so I could chip right into that and then dump them wherever I need them, but I don't know if you can see behind me, but we have the IBC tote in there because we were watering plants out across the property, and I put out 200 gallons of water a couple days ago with that. And I think for the summer I just need to leave that on the dump trailer or get a dedicated trailer for that IBC tote, because that's going to be very valuable for us to keep the things growing when we don't have regular rainfall. That's the area I'm going to be working on. I got in there a few weeks ago with the mini excavator and the mini skid steer and got a lot of the brush cleaned up. But over here I've knocked down quite a few little pine trees, and they've been sitting for a couple weeks to let the sap kind of run out of them, or at least harden a little bit, so the chipper will have an easier time with them. Also get the pine needles a chance to die down. I'm just going to get in there and chip up as much of that as possible. My biggest challenge is going to be trying to minimize the manual labor part. So I need to get the tractor in there where I'm not moving it a lot, and also where I got another ATV dump trailer we'll put behind the Hyson electric, so I can chip right into that. So that's going to be the hardest part, is just getting everything kind of set up where I can be efficient. I've got a pretty good path going in here, and I was able to daylight this magnolia, which I didn't even know was here. Beautiful natural magnolia with the real big leaves on it. Totally different from the magnolias we brought to the property as plants that we started a few years ago. And it's already seeming to flourish because it can get more sunlight now. So I don't want to damage that, but I think what I need to do is have the tractor over here. I'll bring the logs in from the back side of the tractor and then have the cart over here and chip into the cart. That'll put the tractor kind of it's a slope here, at a little bit of an angle, but I can't really go back further closer to the trees because there won't really be room to maneuver. I guess once I get a few going, I can see if I can get in here a little deeper so I don't have to carry the logs as much. I try to cut them into like 8-foot sections once I knock them down with the excavator. Got the tractor position. I'm going to walk back and get the Hyson electric with the little ATV trailer. What do you guys think? I would love for every one of you that's watching this video to put a comment down below. Let me know if what I've said so far in this video is political, because it isn't. It isn't meant to be. Let me put it that way. I got the little trailer out, and if you're wondering where this trailer came from, there's a company called D2000, I think, and it's an affiliate of WoodMaxx who actually made the wood chipper. And we bought the wood chipper, so that's not sponsored. But they sent us this trailer because they said this would be good to use behind our zero-turn mower. So we got it for Deb for the garden, but it's a good match for behind the electric here. It's real light. You hardly know it's back here. It holds a good amount, and it's lightweight. So it's real easy to put together. Came in a flat box, and I think I put it together in 15 minutes or so. Has some real beefy knobby tires on it, and overall just a great trailer for doing garden work and mulching. And we're going to use it for the first time, filling it up with wood chips directly from the wood chipper. And if you're not familiar with the brand Hyson, the side-by-side, that's a 48-volt electric. And since we've had it on the property, we find that we always gravitate towards the electric one. It's just so easy to use. You know, there's no noise, there's no fuel vapors or exhaust fumes or anything. And we just find it can do a lot for being electric. And only 48 volt, we've really found no limitations with it. Hyson makes many different, or is rebranded in many different ways. So if you're at a dealer and they have Bad Boy, that's produced by Hyson. If you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, I think it's Lowe's, they have a product line called Axis. That's the same thing as a Hyson. So right now, this 48 volt, I don't know what model number it's called by Axis, but this is what you see out in front of Lowe's as the Axis electric. Probably should chip a little bit to see where the chips fall and then reposition that, get it in the right place. That one stalled the tractor. I knew I put that too big a piece in there and didn't slow down the feed. Turn the PTO off, restart the tractor. Turn the PTO back on. There we go. Some big chips there. I'm starting to work up a little sweat as the coolness goes away from this Florida morning, but in just a few minutes I've got a cart full of chips and I've cleaned up this whole area here, which was hard to walk through. There was just so many sticks. And I threw in trunks of the pine trees, but I also threw in kudzu vines and old limbs that were on the ground. There were a few briar stumps that look like a potato. I just threw all that stuff in there to chip it, and it just eats it right up. And this is not a sponsored product. We bought this wood chipper with our own money off Facebook Marketplace. We got a lot of videos out there on it. We talk about it. We did our research on wood chippers, and we knew that we wanted a hydraulic infeed. Here's what I will say after wood chipping for over a year and probably filling 2 dump trucks or more with wood chips with this wood chipper. We are affiliated with WoodMaxx because we are sponsored with a WoodMaxx flail mower. So we got a video out on that and talking about that. But this particular piece of equipment is not sponsored at all. But since we are affiliated with them, there is a share a sale link down below where we would get credit from WoodMaxx if you were to buy through our link. But think real hard about buying a wood chipper when you see folks that are coming up and putting in logs like I put in, and then they're just wrestling with them. Whether they're going in vertically or at an angle like this, if it's not self-feeding, it will wear you out. Like, I have a lot to do here, and just picking up the logs and bringing them to the chipper is a lot of work, especially when it gets hot and humid. But I couldn't imagine having to force that in there, because self-feeding without an in-feed, there's no such thing as self-feeding. If you have the perfect log and the blades can grab it and pull it in, but very few logs are perfect. So most of the time you're going to see like a perfectly picked out log that goes through those non-mechanical or hydraulic infeeds, and that log might go through quickly, but you can pretty much just fill this hopper and walk away from it. Now sometimes if the branches are too wide and they won't collapse like cedar or something, you might have to fight it a little bit, but for the most part, it's drop and go. Drop and go. And just keep that in mind when you're thinking about buying a wood chipper. Don't try to save $500 or $600 for one without a hydraulic infeed. And again, I don't care what brand you buy. I think WoodMaxx makes the best wood chipper on the market. American engineered, manufactured in America, made in USA, well thought out, bulletproof design. I have chipped, I think this will go up to 6 inches, but the tractor doesn't have enough horsepower for 6-inch material. But I've worked 6-inch material through here. The chipper, the way it's built and the way that it infeeds is almost indestructible. So that would be my advice to you. If you get a wood chipper, make sure it's hydraulic infeed, and don't try to save a couple bucks by buying maybe a brand that isn't as tried and true as WoodMaxx. These wood chips need to age a little bit. They could go directly around like a tree for mulch or something, but for the garden, I want them to age and dry out and kind of wick more of that sap out of there. So I'm going to put them in the sun next to the garden. Now this is actually a dump trailer where it has a pin in it and you can mechanically or physically dump it, but you can also dump it just by lifting up on the hitch. And it's full of chips and it pushes pretty easy with these big flotation tires. Pretty good sized pile of chips. It's the first time that we've used it for that purpose and I'm impressed by it. But these chips will just break down here in the sun. These actually came from the same place, but these have a lot more dirt in them where I scooped them up with the tractor. And these are more just pure wood chips. Sometimes you have a need for them like in the bottom of a garden box, and then you have a need for these on top to keep the weeds at bay. Well, that was the third load of wood chips that I took over to the garden, and I can't say enough about all of this equipment. All of it's performing flawlessly, getting great chips out of it, and watching that pile grow over there of just pure wood chips is it's really fun to watch. But this whole area all through here looked like this. And now all of those trees that were laying on the ground are picked up. A lot of branches, a lot of roots, a lot of vines picked up, and this area is pretty clean. I still got a little bit more to do right here and back around this corner. But if I got 3 loads of chips from what was here, there's probably at least another 6 load of chips. And to me, that's just a really cool use of resources we have here on Piney Grove. You probably can't see it, but back through there where it's thicker, and we're going to keep most of that thick, I bet I can see 12 different pine trees that have fallen over on their own, and they're nice and dry and would make good wood chips, in addition to these thinner trees here, or these skinny trees here that I have to thin out. But this is where I let you guys go and get back to what you're doing. I'm going to keep chipping until I get tired, or until Deb comes out here and tells me that it's lunchtime. I'll leave you with a very interesting fact. We put out anywhere from 2 to 4 videos a week. It just depends on how much content we have and how much we're doing out here. And 95% of our views come from non-subscribers. So if you look at our subscribers at 132,000, a lot of people that are watching our video aren't subscribers. So what are you guys waiting for? We're at 132. It's the spring of 2025. Help us reach our goal of 200,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We'd really appreciate it. But until next time, y'all take care out there. And remember, life's short, tractor hard, and check out these 2 videos right here. They're totally awesome.